quickly go through everything that we've done, just so you can see how it all lines up, measurements, and then the next process from then on. Yeah, it looks like a complete mess in there, but there is method in our madness. Right, got a ratchet strap on here, just to pull this chassis together. It just needs to go together like 2 mil. The outriggers were sitting further out than the top hat section, so we just needed to pull the chassis rails together a little bit, just so we could get those outriggers sitting flush with the chassis, because the chassis sometimes rolls as well when you're doing all this. So we've got front and rear fitting really nice and flush. So we put in this conduit tube here. Obviously barn doors shouldn't have these, they just have the shift rod going through there. But we put that in just to hold all of the I-beams, top hats together, and then we know it goes completely flush through the donut housing at the rear, and we leave the original hole in the bulkhead there, so we know that it lines up, it's exactly right, it's perfect. Chassis rails front to back, we've done them. We've still got to do the little detail holes there for barn door, and then barn door they have another piece of chassis which goes inside, just a little sleeve, a strengthening sleeve. So we've done all the way from there up to the torsion tube. Next thing we're going to tackle is taking all of this off, prepping it all, and then we'll be going on back on for spot welding. We've got the inner chassis sections still to make, so we're probably going to just go straight on to spot welding everything together now. So we've got the load bed to chassis, everything is millimetre perfect, this is dead square. We've got just a little homemade jig in the rear, that's just to keep the back of the body in one place because everything's just fallen apart. Once this chassis is done, we can then get on to outer sills, B-post drops, and then get on to dog legs, A-pillars, front panel. Bosh, done in no time. Yeah, how cool is this sign writing? Transocean Machine Company, Inc., Montreal. Mr. Parsons is going to have a field day getting all that back together. Nice.
Cleaning the oils off of these, because when they make them, they give them a coating in oil just to stop them rusting while they're sat on the shelf. But that will contaminate your welds. And especially when you're doing these bits, the last thing you want is it to blow these edges and look rough. So you want to give yourself the best chance of getting a clean weld. And they are covered in oil. Even when you just belt sand them, grind them, clean them, it's still there. And it will ruin your weld.
Bob's just grinding off the little bits of swarf from all the drilling of all the holes, and then yeah, just quick Kent copper prime. We found this the best. U-Pole do a really nice one as well, but with this the Kent one, just perfect for what we need. So all the faces, everything that we've cleaned, everything that we've scotched and DA'd and all of that stuff, all gets a really nice coat. Just gives it the longevity. We want our projects to last as long as possible, so we make sure that everything gets done. There you can see like the chassis rails all been copper primed, and the inside of the outriggers, and now we are just buttoning up the welds. nice penetration on them. You can see going around it, that's bitten into the chassis rails nicely. So after that, we then get like a little slitting disc and belt sander and flap discs, and we just grind it all back down so it looks like nothing's been done. There we go. We use 40 grit on these things, just to knock it down really quickly. Find a little grinding disc, gets right into the corners, stuff that you can't really get with a belt sander. Just gets nice in, real clean, real crisp, clean finish. And you can also finish up the outside flange with that as well. Right, into the last little bits of this now. So you can see we've plug welded all the outriggers on and just clean them back. So they will get single-sided spot welded. Couple of nice little beads of weld on the top, just to hold that top hat section onto the chassis. Measuring everything, so everything's square now. So we've got 285, 263, 263, 285. And then outriggers to weld on. So you see the elongated holes there. We plug them, grind them back, single side them. I've started spot welding the top of the outrigger, the bottom of the outrigger onto the top hat section over there. So we're just going to seam up underneath here both sides as they did from factory, and then we'll get onto inner sills, jack points. Hopefully you can do this where we can see. Right, so this is the rear splash pan part of the lower part of the tub. Obviously you can see barn door pickups are different. So they've got this panel just here, so that tub should come all the way down. But on pickups, we take that out because the fuel tank goes here. So we're just looking at little details here. So this little return here from the inner sill, on barn doors, they fold 90 degrees into the van. On Hanover built buses, they fold 90 degrees into the inner sill. So these inner sills are always left with these edges on, so you can use them either side. So the front piece stays out, the back piece gets folded. Like I said, barn door, Wolfsburg buses get bent inwards, later buses get bent into the inner sill. Hopefully you can see this barn door pickup detail over here. There you go. There's the tub. So the floor, it's a standard floor, but the upright fold of the normal floor, you just get bent down and then it goes into that special pickup only tub.
Now I'm putting the aesthetic spot welds onto these outriggers. Normally we would just single side it, but because we haven't, what?
Sorry, Michael.
Because we haven't done the closing panel for the chassis leg on the other side, we can get the smaller spot welder in, just to make nice, look at that, nice little spot weld dents. Because we're using the smaller spot welder, wouldn't normally just do them because it's not structurally strong enough, I don't think. So that's why we use the big one. We use the big one, all of those along there. It's quite warm down that end.
And there you go. Look at those.
Beautiful, beautiful. Right.
normally we would, if you're going to plug weld this, you'd put this inner sill on, mark where the I-beams and top hat sections go to, take it off, drill holes, put it back on like this again, plug it all up. But luckily we've got the spot welders out and we're cracking on today with that. So in between the two spot welders, we'll have all of this buttoned up both sides in no time. No grinding, nothing to do then, it's just prep and then ready for outer sills. Here we go, just quickly spotting up all of the last little bits. Two-man job there. The old machine is a bit of a weapon to get around, very heavy. Quickly just cutting the little holes into the top hat outrigger a bit, and then you just push those into place. Little soft hammer will do, or if you're a complete idiot like me, you use your hand and hurt it. There we go, all fitting lovely, and you can see how it fits so nicely onto those inner sills. Yeah, and then the back ones you just need to do the same. So leave the little holes in the outriggers, but obviously not the top hats. So you just need to chop all them down so everything fits in. Obviously the rear one has got slice on front and rear. Front has just got one on the rear of it. Yeah, and there you go. Use a hammer, not your hand. That's how I found best. And that's it. Tapped up nicely. Then you can pull it onto the inner sill once it's in place. Fits nice and snug, then just crack out the spot welder again. Button that right up. And then all you do, just seam up down the back edges of it. So all across the bottom, all down the up the back edge of it, and spot weld the face to the inner sill, and you're done. Sorry about the mess. It is, well, it's just been one of those days. We've been grafting with this thing now. So dog legs, I've pretty much got that 80-90% on. Still a bit of finishing around the front floor A-pillar stuff, but when I do the inner front valance, then the closing panel A-pillar to valance, I'll sort the rest of that out. But beautiful door gaps. Really, really happy with all that. Buttoned up the bottom of the B pillar. We've been doing all of these spot welds on the inside, so I know it looks really random where they all are, but cleaned it all back, and I've spot welded these through all of the original spot welds. So if we were to have done this, we would have done it like every 18-20 mil all the way across, but that's how they did it in the factory. So we thought if it was good enough for them back then, we'll reproduce it. These tiny little details that are always missed in a resto, Bob and I, we try and do everything as nice, original as possible, not just get it done, chuck it out the door. We want this to be good. Correct, Bob?
Yeah, anyone can drill out spot welds, plug it.
Sorry.
They're expensive vehicles, so they warrant spending the time getting it right.
Right, next job, sill. So inner sill's all done, all copper primed. Inside of this panel's all copper primed. You might notice no drip holes on that sill. Really common thing that people overlook on barn door restorations, just little kind of details. So long sill, never had any drainage holes, drip holes. So we straighten all them out, put it on. It just annoys me when you see restored cars with them in.
There's no excuse. If you're restoring it, there's no excuse.
So with this, we're trying to keep as much original paint as possible, and much original metal. So sill all the way on, and then I like to do it, same as Bob, 0.75 disc once you've got it all lined up, 0.75 disc all the way through, and then it just gives you that little bit of expansion gap. So when you're welding, it's a really slow process, this, so it's like spot, plug, spot, 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 and just work up and down the panel, quenching it as you go, and hopefully it comes out without a distorted panel. So I like to put the bar across the top, and there's tape there as well, so the tape stops the paint, we found stops the paint getting discoloured and burning, and then I put the bar across there, hopefully pull in a bit of the heat, stop any distortion going through the panel. That's where I'm up to. I'll hand it across to Bob.
Oh, wicked. Whoa. Yeah. So, yeah, right. So, same as Matt. I've got the arch on, done my B-pillar. A little bit of finishing off down the bottom there. I'll leave that till we get to the valance. Here, oh no, that way. Here you can see, I haven't welded mine yet, but you can see where the original spot welds were. We're lucky enough that these seat tubs are really good still. So we'll put them back in. Tip that I do, when you're clamping it, you might be able to see it just there, a bit of a burn. So I weld it, I tack it just on the other side. So when we roll it over, we can grind that off, but it holds it there, so you don't have, so you can clamp it, tack it, shut the door, see where your gap's at. Just saves a lot of time and a lot of cleaning up process, rather than sort of drilling a hole, plugging it, that's not in the right place. So yeah, that's that bit. Pick up detail here, where the sill will sit over there. Yeah, just trying to figure out what to do, how much to keep here, because this 73-year-old hole, 72-year-old whatever, it's still there, so I'm going to keep that. Yeah, and then it will be pretty solid. Still got all this to do, loads to do in there, but oh yeah, check out spot welds. No one's ever going to see them. Wicked.
Right, I've done all of the seam welding down there, dead straight, really nice. Nice contour, little skimmer filler should just finish that off a treat, then it's up to Parsons to blend it all in. Now, quickly just whiz down there with the spot welder, 18mm apart between welds. Let's get it on.